Hi, this is MoneyMitch26. What you're watching right now is a little video IRL intro to this video series that I'm trying out. So this is a podcast called Top of the Pop, where I'm going to invite community members from the EchoVR world on the show. They're going to have the floor for 20-30 minutes, maybe longer, and I'm just going to ask some questions, right? I'm just going to ask the kind of questions that you want to know about these people. Going to get them to share their story. And yeah, hopefully it's something that you guys want to watch. If it is, definitely let me know, and let me know like who else you'd like to hear from in the community. I think that'll go well. So anyway, let's get into it. Hey guys, my name is MoneyMitch26. This is a new podcast, first ever episode, and this is Top of the Pop. It's called that because this is popcorn, and it's a reference to a no, you're too young to get it. Anyway, so today's guest, we have Warpgate, Warp_Gate. Warpgate.
Hello.
He's a bit of a legend. He is the owner, the creator of Community. It's got a long name, isn't it? EchoVR.
It's called Eco-Friendly.
Friendly.
Eco-Friendly. It's a pun on eco-friendly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. You've got 179 members of that community. You're also a bit of an independent caster. I have the stats.
Thing is, that's including bots. There's only about 130 real people.
Don't. That's it. Don't put it down. No, that's awesome.
All right, no. You gotta include the bots.
179 Twitch followers. None of them are bots. They're all real people.
Oh,
real
those are real
people that
yes.
watch.
I hope so.
How you doing, man? So you just woke up?
Yeah, a couple hours ago I woke up. So I'm still getting there. But yeah, I've just been getting stuff done. I think I'm gonna get on Echo soon. I know matches came out today, so maybe can do a little casting later.
Nice. So you work night shifts, right? You've got a bit of a nocturnal.
Yes. So normally
schedule.
I am working night, like I work day 6 a.m. to or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Right.
I do like IT support overnight, and yeah, that's like 12 hours. So it switches like 4 days per week or 3 days depending on the week.
Cool.
And yeah, so normally on my off days, I mean, I might just stick to that schedule, but sometimes because I want to do casting, I want to play with Americans before they go to bed, so I'll wake up. I'll just stay up through the night through Sunday, and then just get up now in the morning, actual morning, the real morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, because I was going to segue into how you play with OCE players, right? That's how you got involved with the community, because you ended up being on late in that schedule.
So before, especially when I started playing the game and I wasn't even competing in anything yet, a lot of the people I did play with were well on that sleep schedule, and were people from OCE Asia, etc. And I still have a lot of my friends in Echo are from around there. So that's why a lot of that community is about half or more. I think OCE Asia, and then maybe like half American, and there's like 3 or 4 EU, and you're one of them.
So was that community already starting to build before you actually made that Discord channel server? Or did you build the server and then you started meeting people, bringing them in?
So I made the server like last year in May. It was just a few people that I knew at first. They're just from the game, Jash, Silo Fox, Quan the Clam, and Falcon. And yeah, so I wanted a place to talk and hang out offside when we weren't playing Echo together. So I made that server, but I also, even from the beginning, I was like, this would be cool if we expanded this to something, maybe did fun stuff like tournaments. And there was kind of a lack of a need for, there was a, what do they call that? A vacuum for that in the community over there in OCE Asia, because they don't always, they're much smaller. They don't always have people running that kind of stuff. So just running those tournaments that we usually run, that attracted a lot of people. And we also have a lot of other fun stuff, Discord games, etc.
Yeah, I was having a look at the tournaments. I saw there was a 3v3. I think that's what it seems like you're doing them every month. There was a 3v3. There was a 1v1 tournament at some point. And there was what I thought was really cool. It was a darts challenge. You were going into the lobby and doing,
I like when we do unique stuff like that. Yeah. PK, he's one of our admins and a friend of mine.
Right.
I begged him to do that for ages. He kept saying like, oh, we're going to do the darts competition, because originally it was going to be part of our 1-year anniversary thing in May. And then he just kept putting it off. So I actually trolled him. And I do like to troll my members and my admins. I basically set all I was like, okay, server's on fire, everyone. I put all flames on all the channel names, and I started privatizing the channels one by one. I was like, PK, host the dart competition, or I'm gonna destroy the server, and he did it. He did it. It was funny. I like to mess with my admins and stuff. Have fun.
No, that's a good way because everyone
Yeah.
has great ideas, right? What's the saying?
Yeah.
They're like, ideas are like worth nothing. It's about actually doing stuff. So that's a good
Exactly,
way.
yeah.
I mean, you're bullying your friends, but you're doing it in a good way, getting them to do something
Exactly. Another
rather than
funny
just
thing
having
I
great
do.
ideas.
Yes, and another funny thing I do is that my admins, I don't do it to the regular mods, but if you get promoted all the way to admin, I will have their names randomly change when they with auto mod when they type. So like PK has several different names like Parker, you're fired, or PK Deviled Egg because he's on Dis Devil's team, and I'm like Deviled Egg. And there's Anathrax as well, like Anathrax. I just yeah, I just that's your privilege. If you get promoted all the way to admin, you do good work. You get the privilege of me trolling you.
So are most of those guys,
Basically,
those admins, or just people in that community, are most of them OCE as well, or
Oh
is it
yeah.
just mixed?
Out of the mods and admins, I think a few are from Australia. A couple are PK's from India. Sherlock from India is too. Should I even say that? Maybe they don't want me to say that. I don't know.
Is there an Indian community for Echo? They sell meta headsets there, right?
I only know a few people from India from the game, and yeah, PK and Sherlock, they're the ones that I know. I'm not sure I know any. PVN, he's also on the same team.
Is there an Indian community? Why? It's not
I don't think
banned
there's
out
an
there, is
Indian
it?
server. No.
No, isn't?
There is,
Maybe that's what it is. The servers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know there's a
No,
Japanese server. Like,
yeah.
that's pretty active. They've got some decent players down there.
Oh yeah, I've been part of the Japanese server for a long time. I've had a bit of a history with them, yeah, because that's when I very first started playing the game after getting the Quest 2. I knew a lot of people from the Japanese side of things, partially because I'm up then, but also partially because the thing is I used a VPN, and this is funny because I realized like I met some people in there. I'm like, these are interesting people, and I'd like to actually know what they're saying. I'm gonna start kind of learning Japanese on the side.
Oh, awesome.
Nihongo benkyoshi, learning Japanese. Yeah, but yeah, I met a lot of them. I casted some of their games, and I just met, and I talk on their server. Sometimes I'll like translate what they say, and I'll use reverse translation to talk back.
Nice.
And they're privates. Oh my god, they're private matches. They're always 6v6. They're always a hell of a time, even though I don't understand really what they're saying. I love it because they're so dedicated and they're like, yeah. But where was I going? I ramble a lot, people. I always
that's
just go
fine.
off on a tangent.
That's cool. That's what
But
this show's for.
yeah, thank you.
So the
what was I gonna
Japanese
say?
community. So how is your Japanese? So how long have you been learning it for?
Ooh, it's it's okay. The thing is, I stopped. I forget a lot of it because a couple months ago, I was learning it pretty solidly for a year, and then a couple months ago, I took a break because I was studying for a project management certification for my career and stuff. And then after that, I stopped it for that, and I never really got back to it. But I'm working on it.
I'm sure if you picked it up, you'd be back where you were like within a couple of weeks. So would you ever get on like Discord calls or like even in Echo? Would you try and practice your speaking?
Oh yeah,
Japanese.
sometimes it is a bit tough when you're in the middle. I'm in the middle of a match with them, and I can say some things like "Hey, yahoo!" like "Hey, what's up?" Or "Otsukare, some of this." That's like, "Okay, I'm leaving. See ya."
That's
so
so
I know
awesome.
the basic stuff. Yeah.
Do they play in Japanese? Do they have Japanese names for like cutting and behind you, in front, pass?
Oh yeah.
These kind of things.
Some of them are just the same. Oh god, what's past? I know like Hidari is left, Migi is right. So that's it. I'll be like, Migi ni ikimasu. So I'm going right. Ni ikimasu would be going. And then pass. I think pass is just pasu. It's simple like that. A lot of words are just adopted.
Okay. Because I don't know if you. I imagine you do. You watch a lot of Europe games. So there's how many languages in Europe, right? But everyone in Europe, they just play in English. But there was a EU country cup last summer, I believe. And that was the first time we saw like a Swedish team, a Spanish team, an Italian team.
Oh.
And they just played in their language. And it was really interesting to see, okay, did they choose to say like the English name for things, or do they just use their native word for things?
Right.
And that was really interesting to watch those matches back. Like when they were casted, you don't hear the comms, but like the private matches, people might record it and put it on YouTube, and you can see them playing in a different language. It was really cool. And I imagine that's what it's like to play with in the Japanese leagues. Not leagues.
Oh yeah,
but,
it's
like,
all in
matches.
Japanese with them. I mean, if you go into the server, you know, of course it's all Japanese.
I have been in there, and I was like, oh, okay.
I know.
Shock.
I've invited people to, and they're like, "Oh, it feels so weird. It's all in Japanese." Like, yep, of course it is.
Yeah, but
They're Japanese.
It's inspired me to learn it. Like I'd love to learn Japanese, and like we were saying earlier about bullying your friends into not just saying stuff but actually doing it. Like I need to actually learn it. I'd love to visit there sometime.
Hey, if you want to learn it, man, we can practice together. You know, that's a good way to practice. Just talking Japanese,
and then we can cast in Japanese. We can cast in Japanese.
That's what that's my goal actually. To one day get good enough where I can do an entire cast in Japanese. I'm nowhere near there yet, but one day I'd like to be able to be good enough to do that. Absolutely.
Nice. So
also,
I was just going to wind all the way back. So how did you get into Echo? Were you into VR first, or was Echo like your first like VR community or game that you really got sucked into?
It was one of the first. I mean, I remember before the Quest 2 came out, I originally wanted to get the Quest 1, but I remember I was very interested in playing PCVR games, and I read that like the AirLink thing for Quest 1 for like virtual desktop, it wasn't good. So it was like very laggy. So I was like, I'm going to wait till the Quest 2. So I got the Quest 2
was your first headset?
Yeah. Quest 2 was my first headset.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I got it about when it
for
came
some
out.
reason, I assumed you were like into VR for like years, just by how involved you are in the community.
I mean, it is almost years at this point. That was like November 2020, you know. So it's been a little while.
Had you heard of VR before that, before Quest 1?
So yeah, I had heard about it for years. I knew about like the original one, but I just kept being like, oh yeah, I'll look at that one day. I mean, I'll wait for it to advance a bit, and eventually, I'm like, oh, you can play it with. I think finally the thing that got me is that, like, oh, I can play without a cable. I didn't like the idea of that, honestly, and that's why I still haven't, and I don't think I'll ever switch to CV1 because I'm just too used to playing free and without anything like that.
Yeah, 100%. I used to work in retail. This is years ago now, but I was on the campaign for like demoing the headset in retail stores for CV1. And then people would fall in love with it. They try it. Oh my God, this is amazing. I want it. How much? And so it'd be in the UK. So I'd say £400. And then they go, oh, that's great. Yeah, I'll buy it. And then I have to break their heart and say, oh yeah, so you're going to be tied to this PC down here. And that's going to cost
that must be tough.
Yeah, you break.
I used to have to explain like stuff about the Nintendo Wii U and stuff because I worked at Toys R Us in the past, and but I never was around by the time the headsets came out. But that would have been tough to do if I did. Yeah, jeez. But do you find a lot of those people like they still bought headset afterwards?
It was the people that already had the PC. I think once.
Oh, I see.
I think like 1 out of 100 bought a PC just so they could do VR, but that's a certain demographic.
Yeah, because it's like
that's the kind of demographic that can walk in a shop and they'll be like, yeah, I don't care about the price, I'll have that. It was that kind of person. Everyone else that's a bit more like aware of how much money they're spending on something.
The gaming PC part is pretty damn expensive. Absolutely. I mean, I do have a good gaming PC, and I do like using AirLink for stuff sometimes. Like Half-Life Alyx, I will finish that one day.
You know what? That's exactly what I was about to say. Half-Life Alyx, if Half-Life Alyx wasn't a thing, like PCVR would be not non-existent, but it'd be so much smaller. It really took a game, in my opinion, it took a game of that caliber of IP and like the respect the PC gaming world has for the IP of Half-Life. I think it took that to really push the adoption.
Huh. I never knew like it was. Is it like by far the most popular PCVR game, or?
I don't know the stats, but I would put money on it. I'd say it's the most popular like PCVR game.
I should really finish it. I've been meaning to finish it for like a year now. I just slowly every couple of months play a bit of it.
It's a long game, and especially when you're used to playing games like this, which are social. Like you go, like you've had a long day, you want to go play with your mates, but these solo games, like I don't know, sometimes you just want to hang out with friends. You don't want to have to like sit and play like a serious thing. But once you do play it, you get into it. You get sucked into the story. I do recommend playing it in big chunks. If you break it up, you kind of forget what happened. You want to kind of like watching a box
I'm trying to remember. I remember my favorite part so far was that one where you're.
No spoilers.
Did you play the full game?
No spoilers, just in case.
Oh,
No
no
spoilers.
spoilers. No spoilers. Sorry.
But you
Okay,
can
we'll
you can
talk about
elaborate
that later.
without ruining it.
Yeah. Oh well, I don't think I'll ruin it. Yeah, basically you were in this basement with this scary dude, who was like chasing you
Yeah.
in the
I
wine
know that
cellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Smash
was. I
bottles.
really liked that level. That was creative.
Yeah, I got stuck so many times, and the first time I got caught there, I remember like proper jump scare. Because up until then, I'd been really good at avoiding the face
Yeah.
huggers. The first time that
Oh,
got me,
I hate
that's not a
those.
spoiler. Everyone knows there's face huggers in Half-Life.
Oh yeah.
But the
of course.
first time that got me, like I was like like shaking my
Yeah.
headset off.
I'm glad they bounce off. They don't like really stay there.
Yeah.
That would be terrifying.
My favorite thing about that game was just putting stuff on your head. You'd like pick up a bucket and be
Yeah.
like, "Can I? Oh yeah, I can."
Oh yeah, you could wear anything as like a hat. I like that they had silly stuff, even though it's a very serious story. You know, that's funny.
I think that's the culture, right? Of Valve. It's just silly. It's just
Yeah.
gamers, right? They don't take themselves too seriously. They know they're making games. They can make them fun like that.
I think a part of that is that they always make their game engines very versatile. So the fact that you could even do something like that, it would work with the physics of the game. Even in Half-Life 2 back, that was one of the most innovative ones of the time, where you could have all this stuff interacting with each other, bouncing off, and they continue that to this day, making it so. And I think it was really the most innovative game engine for VR that we saw in Half-Life Alyx, because there's just so much stuff that can interact with everything else in a way where you just don't see that in a lot of games. Like they want to, and that gives them so many options, so they can do stuff like that. When they have a very versatile game engine.
So you are a PC gamer, right? You've always
In a
been
way,
a PC gamer.
I mean, I never really. The thing is, I do have a good gaming PC, and I kind of wasted the money on it because it was like, I don't know, 2016, 2017 around when I built a good gaming PC. I got so many Steam games off of like Humble Bundles and stuff where it's like you can get a bunch for $5. Never played them really. I mean, I was mostly in PS4 for a while, but thing is, I do actually use that now because of PCVR. So it all worked out in the end, I think.
Have you ever found yourself going back
Yeah.
and like installing? Oh, what's this random game? Let me just play this.
I
You
just don't have the. The
bought
thing
4 years
is,
ago.
I always feel like and that's probably why I haven't finished Half-Life Alyx yet, is that sometimes it feels like I could be practicing on Echo, I could be getting better, and that actually goes beyond that before Echo, because even before that I played this MMO called RuneScape. I don't know if you heard of it.
Yeah. Have I heard of RuneScape? Yeah.
You're British,
100%.
so I assume you have. But yeah, I played that for many years, and it's always like if you're wasting time messing around, it's like that's XP waste, dude. You're wasting XP. It's like,
I could be chopping a tree right now. I could be mining.
It's all XP waste. You gotta get those gains. Those gains.
What was your grind on RuneScape? What was your
Oh
craft?
my god. The thing is, I'd always look up these strategies which sometimes you could train multiple skills at the same time. And these videos that people would make would teach you how to do it. And sometimes, you could be chopping trees, and you could also be, if you time it right, you could be like making something, or you could be. I always like the AFK stuff the most, because that way, like, I'm not fully focusing. I could just be watching, and I think that's what kept me playing it for so long, is that I could be both. It felt efficient, even though it doesn't matter, it's just a game. I could be doing this and also watching YouTube all day, which I'd probably be doing anyway, So it's like, I don't know, there's something that felt efficient about that.
You grew up on Pokémon as well, right? We mentioned it before.
Yeah, Pokemon was good. I mean, I played some of the original ones. I played Leaf, Green, Fire Red back in school. Emerald was good. Those are the classics, I think. I really enjoyed those in the time. I felt like I played in later years, like, I don't know, in 2015, I had Soul Silver and the other ones. It's a good story. I feel like it's kind of, the story's good, the RPG elements are good, although the actual gameplay can get a bit, it's like once you learn it, you can kind of just, it's kind of easy, honestly. It's kind of easy. Unless you do the thing people do, the Nuzlocke. I want to try that someday.
What's that?
Oh, you never heard of the Nuzlocke challenge?
No, what's that?
So that's basically when you play Pokemon, but you have to be very careful, because if your Pokemon dies, you don't get it back. You can't let it faint, or you lose it. Basically, yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's.
So
I
guess
it's really
you'd
tough,
have to train up one Pokemon, right? Would that be the meta? for that.
I
You
think a
get
lot of
one
times
really
people,
strong.
yeah. Well, no, I think a lot of people they get multiple, but they really just grind the hell out of everything. And no, they actually. The thing is, it forces you to actually play the game like the way it was intended because you got to get
Yeah,
different types,
conservatively.
different type advantage, and all that. You know,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is like if in a normal playthrough you wouldn't really need to worry about that. You would just have like one Pokemon that level it up and then bop 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 bop.
Well,
bop,
I
destroy
never
everything.
did that, but as I
Yeah.
got older, I started looking on the internet on like optimal ways to get through it. And the optimal way for the original Pokemon Red, like people that do the
Yeah.
speed run, they get Nidoran, evolve it quickly, and then they give it a
Huh.
Moonstone. So by the time you've got one badge, you've already got like a third evolution Pokemon, and then you
Oh,
can
that
just
is
smash
pretty
out the
good.
game. It's
That's
just one
smart.
Pokemon that was
Yeah.
overpowered.
I feel like the strategy again though, it can be such an easy game that if you do look up the strategies,
Yeah.
it gets too
Yeah, yeah.
easy a bit. Yeah.
Maybe because I
Um,
was pretty young when I first played it. Like I wasn't trying
Yeah.
to find the optimal way to play it. I was just playing
Right.
it 'cause it was fun. Oh, that Pokemon looks
Yeah.
cool. I want that one on my team.
Yeah, that's mostly how
So,
I played it. What was your favorite one from the games?
favorite game or favorite Pokemon?
Pokemon.
I really like Mankey.
Mankey?
Mankey evolved into Primate.
I feel like
or
that just
something?
sounds like a British way to say monkey. Is that Mankey? Get him out, man. Get him out on the battlefield. Uh, no, I think I like. Yeah, that's a good. I like it. He looks so weird. He doesn't even look like a
I
monkey
know.
at all.
I don't know why I liked it. I just
Yeah.
did. I just like monkeys, I guess, when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's a
What's
good
your favorite?
Pokemon. I
You have
like
to
the
pick. By
Arctic.
the way, yeah, pick from the first and second generation, because I don't know any of the others after that.
Okay, I liked the one you find in the ice cave on the island, Articuno.
Oh, the
The
legendary
bird.
one.
Yeah, the legendary
Yeah.
blue bird. One because I like blue and ice, and it had ice beam, and I remember with ice beam you could destroy the shit out of it, anything with that. Yeah. The Elite Four. I remember it carried me there.
Kind of a
was
tangent.
the-
So I've got an older cousin, right? And when I was playing Pokemon Red, so that was the original.
Yeah.
My Pokemon Red was actually lent by my cousin. So when I played it on before I deleted the save file, I played his one, and he just named all the Pokemon like curse words. So when you mention that Pokemon, I don't know the Pokemon's name. I've already forgotten it, but I know what he called it.
Oh my god. Tell me. No, no.
I can't say it on the show, but it was funny.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's funny.
But that's what it's called in my
yeah.
7-year-old head. That's what it's called. That's the name of that Pokemon. I didn't know it was a swear word. I just said.
Exactly. I
just
mean,
said it out loud once.
I
got
think
told
I
off.
normally just named them the normal names, but that's funnier, honestly. I like when people do that in streams and stuff, so that way, they just have to keep saying it over and over and over and over again. I remember, and I think that's part of the Nuzlocke thing is you have to name them so you're more attached when they die.
Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible.
That's sad.
So it
Yeah.
hurts That'd be good to
No,
watch
I
on a
care for
stream.
you.
Though. I like. That's smart.
Yeah, I've watched some. They're really fun to watch.
That must
Did
be
you ever see
horrible.
Twitch plays Pokemon?
What's this? Is it like an event?
Oh, you never saw Twitch plays Pokemon? That existed. It started like 5 years ago or something, where it was such a journey. It was all of Twitch chat. It was like a Nuzlocke challenge, so that if it died, it was gone. And all of Twitch chat had to press the buttons, had to enter a command to make the player
Yeah.
move, and it was just constant rambling, just going in circles. And I remember that. That was, and they
Did that?
eventually did it. They
Yeah.
completed it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard of
I
that. At
can't
some
believe
point,
they
I
did.
went down a rabbit hole on YouTube, and I found someone talking about Pokemon like
Yeah.
evolving and stuff, and they mentioned that concept.
I was
Yeah,
there.
that's crazy.
I was there when they
Oh,
did it
you were
before.
there.
That was
You were
it
spamming
was
the
an
buttons.
experience. I was spamming the buttons, and
Oh,
the thing
wow.
is, yeah, I couldn't believe we did it. That was amazing.
So how big did that get in terms of viewership?
Oh, it was I think the biggest thing on Twitch at the time.
Oh,
when
wow.
I think they did later versions of it, and it wasn't as popular. But at the time, I don't remember how many, but it was by far like everybody was looking at that thing. Everybody was watching it.
Because personally, I grew up with games, obviously. And then when I turned about 18, 19, 20, that kind of age, I just kind of moved away from games. I just completely moved away. And then as I've come old, like mid-20s, I'm kind of coming back into it. I got into VR, got into Echo. And then once I was in Echo, I then became a part of the community. And I realized, oh, wait, everyone's gamers, right? So I've
Everybody's gamers.
fallen
Yeah.
back into this culture. And the culture's so
Right.
different now with the internet and like how the internet has evolved 2.0, 3.0.
Mm.
The landscape's changed, and yeah, just gaming culture. It's really interesting to see,
Right.
like having gone away from it, like what 10 years ago, and then coming back into it. Like, oh, all right, okay. As the
What were
new
you into,
generation
like-
comes through with their culture,
Yeah.
Gen Z.
It is a lot different. It always feels weird because I mean I'm 27. I'm older than most people in this game, and it's always like, "Hey, Grandpa Warp" or something like that. I'm just like,
It depends
"Damn
where
it,
you hang out
guys!
with,
I'm
though.
not that old."
No, sometimes in pubs you will get like a lot of older. Granted, the average
Sometimes.
age is
Sometimes,
probably 12, 13, which is kind of weird to think
Probably.
about that you have to be 13 to play it. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
If you go into an average pub, the average age is probably like 13. But
There are definitely a lot of kids in pubs. Absolutely.
yeah, but there's definitely older players, and I find the older crowds,
Yeah.
they have their Facebook groups, they have their Discord groups, and they play privates. They come on. There was a point
True.
during the pandemic where I'd
Yeah.
come on and I just get invites. As soon as I come on, I've got like a couple invites coming up, and they're just in privates. That's what they do. They come on for the evening, normally later, like 9, 10 p.m. locally, and then they just spam their invite list. Everyone, come play, come play, come play, and then before you know it, you're in
true.
5v5, having a good
I don't
time.
always spam my invite lists. I'm like, I haven't talked to this person in 5 months. Do they want to play with me? I don't know.
I think you'd be surprised. man.
Yeah.
People are like,
Maybe.
oh, an invite, nice. Because most people are just bored, right? Most people, if there's like competitive players, they're probably in a private by themselves, just practicing.
Yeah.
If they're
I
just
do that
pubbers, they're probably
sometimes.
sick of pubs. They want someone to party up with.
I do that sometimes. I usually do pubs like because I mean I know people in Discord, part of groups, and especially the team that I used to be on, we still play often. So yeah, but usually it's pubs. I would say though, often the median age it seems like around teenager. I think from what I've seen, like late, early, mid to late teenagers.
Do you think it's a bit older then? Like the average age being about 18, 17?
Around there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people that I know from the game are probably around there.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. But I'll just be the old one here. But you know what? Even though I'm old, I can still rumble. Okay? And as you can see. No, what? How did I? No, I'm on my chair. There we go. That counts.
There we
You
go.
didn't see
Third
that.
time's a charm.
You didn't see the fail.